Hey guys, I'm Alexis and welcome back to Shelf Life Extension. I have another book review for you guys today. I feel kind of bad about this book review because I figured it would be a bit more positive compared to the one I put up a little over a week ago. But sadly, I don't know, I just wasn't on my game the day that I went to Barnes & Noble and picked out these books because this one, although better than the first one, just still, I'm not going to give it that great of a rating. The book that I'm going to review for you guys today is The Sleeping and the Dead by Jeff Crook. It was published in 2012 by Minotaur Books. It has about 330 pages, and it is a sci-fi mystery thriller thing. It's about an ex-detective named Jackie Lyons who is a junkie, more so a recovering junkie, and in order to make money she goes to crime scenes and takes pictures and then sells those photos to the newspapers, to the police departments, to anybody who will really pay for them, and that means some pretty twisted and sick civilians who will buy them, because they're not just normal crime scenes, they're like legit homicide crime scenes, so they're pretty nasty photos. So she ends up spending the last of her money on a new camera, and this new camera can take photos of ghosts pretty much, but outside of that she can see ghosts too. So she's going after this killer who they call the Playhouse Killer, because every murder that he does, he stages it as if from a scene from a play. So while she is going to these crime scenes of this Playhouse Killer, she ends up getting a little closer to the suspects and to the crime than she ever thought she would, and it's all thanks to this new camera that she got. So first off, it took me a long time to get into this book. I honestly didn't really pick it up until about last night, and then I finished it last night. It was pretty slow, it was pretty jumbled in the beginning, but I kind of wrote it off because of the fact that, well, as the character whose point of view you are reading it from is Jackie, who is an ex-junkie, her mind is still really isn't there, and she's not where she should be. So she's messed up, she's not organized, and so with that I just accepted that the writing was kind of like that to reflect how her mind is working at that point. But overall, up until it did start to build and progress, I felt like the story didn't build the way that a normal book should. Like with any story, you know, it starts at the beginning, your middle, and your end, and then there's the climax and the rising action before the climax, and then the denouement, you know, which is like the ending action to kind of settle everything. I kind of felt like it was the beginning, got into the middle, and right at the middle it kind of quickly built into the climax, and then from then on it got interesting. So it didn't build up, and like with a lot of mystery thrillers, and especially cop murder thrillers, there's always that sense of like wonder and like what's going on and twists and turns, which always makes them like some of the best reads. But in this, there wasn't that many twists and turns, and the things that you found out just kind of happened on their own. It wasn't because they really uncovered things, it was just kind of piecing together the information that was already laid out. So although in any investigation that's going to happen anyway, especially in a thriller or a mystery, I felt like overall it wasn't any information that super surprised me or really got me like thinking that that was something crazy, or I never expected that, or who would have thought, you know. It was kind of like, oh well, that makes sense. That's kind of, okay, I can see that makes sense, you know what I mean? But overall, as a character, I really like Jackie because she's really witty, she's really spunky and feisty, so she has a lot of really good one-liners, and she's really good at coming up with something really quick and making it really funny. So she added a lot of comedy to the situations that were happening that were kind of meant to be really creepy, really gross, and just really disturbing. I thought Jackie was an interesting character, although she didn't really have much character progression throughout the story. I thought her supporting characters as well didn't have a lot of development. They didn't really add to her progression or her story. they were just kind of add-ins to help kind of build a cast around her. So they didn't add to her and they didn't subtract from her or the story really. But overall, I thought that the writing was really well done. It flowed nicely. Once I got into it, you know, I could read it easily. I understood the voice that was coming out. So yeah, overall, probably rate this book a 3, maybe 2.5 out of 5. It wasn't that great. It got good more towards the end, and once you started, you know, getting handed the information and finally understanding what was going on. But I think what really subtracts from it is the fact that it's like she's supposed to see ghosts, right? She sees these ghosts, but she doesn't interact with them. So it ultimately doesn't matter at all. Like at one point, she sees a ghost and you're like, okay. And you think she'd really do something about that or try to interact with it or try to understand what this ghost wants from her because it's like in her apartment. But she doesn't do anything. You don't learn anything about it. You don't understand why it's even in the story until later. But again, she doesn't interact with it. She doesn't interact with any of the ghosts. She doesn't do anything with it. It's just kind of like, oh, she can see ghosts. It's like, oh, hey, there's a ghost over there. Oh, there's a ghost over there. Just ignore it. And then move on along with the story. It's just like, well, then why does it really even matter if she sees ghosts if it's not even going to progress the story? Yeah, I feel bad because it's kind of like the same review as what I had for The Sword of Fire and Sea, you know? I thought it was going to be great. It kind of let me down, but this one was generally good. I actually finished it and it got good towards the end, so I give it an extra point for that. I liked the voice. I liked how spunky she was, but I just felt like there could have been, he could have done a lot more with the fact that she can see ghosts, and you'd think more would have been done with that, but it wasn't. So yeah, I give it, you know, 2.5 to 3 out of 5. I say it's not a bad read, but it's not a great one either, so really it's kind of up to you if you really want to take a chance on it. I'm not going to say pass on it, but I wouldn't, you know, it wouldn't be on my top of my list to be like, hey, go get it. Anyways, thanks you guys for, you know, tuning in, watching another review that I had. Please feel free to subscribe, feel free to leave comments, tell me what I'm doing good, what I can do better, any suggestions, rate, all that good stuff. I'll be posting again next week. Oh, and side note, I do have a vlog channel. My second channel is MsAlexisTia. I've been doing vlogs, and I'm finishing out my Japan vlogs, and then once I'm done with those Japan vlogs, I'll be starting to roll out my Disney World vlogs. And that's where I was last week, so that's why a video didn't go up last week. It's kind of late. But anyways, yeah. So again, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you guys next week. Bye!